This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Ping.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
Welcome to Transformations with Tara Sutphen. Tara Sutphen is the author of Blame It on Your Past Lives, Soul Agreements, and the Abenda Chronicles. Grammy-nominated audios, videos, and MP3 series. You can find these MP3 series now at TaraInsight.com.
And good morning. Welcome to Transformations with Tara Sutphen. I am Jason D. McKean. I am filling in for Tara this morning. And with me is Kevin Bailey. And Kevin, good morning to you. Thank you for being on Transformations this morning.
Good morning, Jason. How are you doing? Thank you for having me as well.
I'm doing great, and it's a pleasure to have you. And Kevin, you are a life coach, a medical exercise specialist, and dealing with injuries, post-rehabilitation specialist, and a motivational speaker, an author. All of these things. Am I missing anything that you like to throw in your bio?
No, I think that hit it all. You did a great job.
So tell me what is that like, as far as at this time, being in that health and wellness field. Do we need to focus on our health and our overall wellness?
Absolutely. Yes, more now than ever, just because of the fact that the climate of everything that's going on, COVID-19, pandemic, people, coming out of in a lot of places still in a lockdown and not fully able to gather with others. So, really it's the perfect storm for people, becoming depressed, for people self-medicating with, whether it be drugs, whether it be with substance abuse, with it, alcohol, things of that nature. Food, big time. Food, it's easy.
Ice cream here.
Ice cream, absolutely.
Some Ben and Jerry's.
Calls my name sometimes. So just all those things that we end up doing during this time. So we really need to, in which, after it's over with, we're losing our health at this time, our mental health also. So again, being able to exercise, being able to take care of our physical bodies, being able to eat efficiently foods that are good for not only our bodies, but our brains, to keep us functioning and moving forward. So we can do this, and we can do this not only being healthier individuals, but being empowered to help others to do what they need to do and affect their lives and help them to get through what they're getting through, because we truly all are in this together, going through the social distancing and things of that nature. We can't even hug people. So we need to take care of our physical bodies, so when we come on the other side of this, we can be stronger than we were before we went into it.
So what I'm hearing is like this whole integrated aspect of health, where it's not just physical, but
right.
It's also mental and emotional, and I'm sure it even goes into the spiritual as well.
Absolutely. All aspects of your life, so which involve that spirituality, which involves your mental aspect, which involves your physical body. So within that, mental aspect as well, being able to think clearly, being able to keep negative thoughts from overtaking you during these times as well. Having that quiet time to find peace, to connect with, your higher being, to be able to do those things so that when you come out of this, you come out stronger, you come out clearer, you come out more focused. And again, that which you have, you're able to, again, give to others. So you're able to help someone else who may be depressed, who may be lonely. People have lost loved ones during this time. People have lost relationships. People have wanted to get married and couldn't get married, things of that nature. So being able to be your best, not only for yourself, but for your family members, for your co-workers, for those all others who may need for you to be the best you can possibly be.
In that aspect of loss, because it's natural, that life and death still happens,
Absolutely.
as that is the nature of life. But because of the pandemic and all, just the normal ways of grieving, of losing someone, and then not being able to either be with them as they're passing, if they're in some kind of like a hospital situation or so, but then the afterwards, the gathering, the comforting of the surviving members, that has been kind of thrown on its ear, and that can be a real challenge to go through these natural processes, these grieving processes, and all. Any insight into kind of like the what can help with that?
Yeah, that is a very difficult situation. I can't imagine going through a loss of someone that you truly love during this time when you're not able to be in contact with that individual. And
Yeah.
it is tough in being afar, but watching them pass, or not being able to just hug them one last time. When my mother passed away when she was 56 years old, about 16 years ago, and very young, but I just remember being able to go into the room, and they left her. She had a heart surgery, bypass surgery. It didn't go well, and they allowed us to come in to see her one last time. And so she was just on a ventilator. They were just keeping her alive long enough for us to see her. And so I remember going in and just being able to put my hand on her hand. And even though she wasn't there, I felt like I could say my last goodbye to her. She wasn't conscious, but I felt like she could still hear me. And if there was an inkling of a chance that could happen, I wanted to speak to her and just say, I love you and thank you for everything you've ever done for me. And I appreciate you. And just that last little touch, kiss on the forehead, and being able to just see them will her away was rough, but at least I got that opportunity. So it will be difficult for that individual who can't do that. But, we're doing a lot. And then the loved ones coming around and being able to share in that moment with you, or in the afterwards and the funerals and things of that nature, to share good stories and everything else they could share, comfort, consolence, all those things. So during this time, this Zoom, what you and I are doing right now, has been the next best thing to being one-on-one with someone. So being able to talk with your loved ones and the people who share the same commonality of that loved one, the things they've done, she's affected their lives, she's helped them, love them. You all can share those stories. And at least if nothing else, we have eye contact, we have, face to face, and you can actually feel those vibrations going from one person to the next, the energy that's there, the love that's there. So if nothing else, we still got that love that we can feel, that you can share. So that's something you can get on a Zoom or some type of call, FaceTime, anything by iPhone, any type of you can use of this technology, use it, but be able to pass just a telephone, but be able to share that moment with those loved ones. And they're there for you. And they're there for you to love on you, for you to love on them, and you ought to give that gift that loved one who passed away gave to you all.
Thank you for sharing that personal moment. I didn't necessarily mean to go. I mean, that was deep, and thank you for opening up to that. And that shows your quality as an empathic being, right? As far as like why you are a wellness coach and why you do the work that you do. Have you become a Zoom master like in these last few months? Like a lot of us?
In my own mind, I feel like I have, but I'm sure not quite. I mean, I'll do training sessions and consultations and exercises with individuals on Zoom. And so after a while, you get the right angles and how you want them. Sometimes they'll think that you can see them and you can't see anything. You can see their wall, You can see their dog, but you can't see them. So so I've maneuvered around, and just as long as they can hear me and see me, and I can see them. And the main thing is that connection, like I was just talking about, the connection of knowing I'm trying to inspire them. I'm trying to motivate them to be their best during this moment, to make the best of this situation, so that they leave this session or this training session better than when they came. And so that's my goal with everything I do, and especially with Zoom, so that you feel like you're right here and I'm right there with you.
If anything, as a teacher and as a person who does a lot of sessions, it would be great for the larger classes to have like a wider screen, like almost like just being able to transfer it to the TV screen, so that instead of having like the little boxes, when you've got a bigger class, so you can really so everyone can feel that in-person type of experience, because there is a beauty to being able to see everyone's faces, where they're and even for the students as well, because they are they're not looking at the backs of heads, or if they're sitting in a classroom type situation and all. So what do you see like ahead for you with through, as we move through this pandemic, and just like this new awareness anyway of the digital? Has that opened up like a larger clientele, or people that you can speak to around the world, or?
Yes, actually it has. What it has done is it allows you to work with someone anywhere. So, now that when I have clients that go out of town, we don't really have to miss a session, because we can do it by Zoom. All they need is a smartphone, internet connection, and we're good to go. I've actually started working with one of my clients. Had a daughter who came home. She was in San Francisco, and when all the fires and all that was going on, they came down to see her mother in Georgia. And so she came and we worked together. And so once, for about a couple of weeks, she moved back home, and we started doing Zoom, because we made a connection. And so she became a client, and we started working one-on-one together. So it gave me an opportunity to see her in person, to figure out, what her specialized and specific needs were. So once I got that down, it made it easy to transition. So when she goes back home to San Francisco, I already know what I need to tell her, what to look for, and how to help her to progress forward. So I can see that, being a thing where you can reach more people, reach out to people, and help them to be their best, and still give them instruction into taking care of their own physical bodies.
I've just recently been working with the Japanese community. It's my wife is Japanese, but I've been doing readings through a translator, and for the Japanese community in Japan. And when one has information that can, it's like the only thing that's stopping you is maybe a language barrier, right? But as far as like when you're able to help someone, you're able to listen to them through a translator, and then offer them your expertise. It's like it's like the whole world just opens up to that.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Getting to because you it looks like your expertise is in health. What's the foundation of health in your experience, and in the way that you might approach, as far as like it may vary from the individual, but is there, I guess I'm asking you, is there a formula to good health?
Okay, well, so the foundation, I feel like, for each of us, and first of all, let me back up. So yes, and like you said, everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody's success is different. Everybody's definition of health is different. But I think one thing that's a common thread and a commonality from all of us is we want to feel good. We want to feel good. And so we want to feel good. We want to feel energetic. We want to feel vibrant, but mainly we want to feel good. So that's a common thing that I always strive for and ask people and try to get people to, shoot for. Sometimes we get to a point where we've been in pain so long that we don't even know what feeling good is like, or we've been depressed so long, or we've been feeling subpar for so long, that becomes the standard, or that becomes the normal or the baseline. But I want people to go beyond that, because I feel like the body was created to thrive and to function in its own perfection, or the way it was created to function. We just need to remove some of the blockages, some of the restrictions, some of the hindrances, whether it be food, whether it be stress, whether it be negative emotions, all those things that can block the flow of life that is given to us. And so when we can remove that, it allows us to feel good. It allows everything to function. It allows your brain to function at its highest capacity. It allows your lungs to expand and breathe and oxygenate your body. It allows the blood to circulate freely throughout your body. And then all those things happening, nutrients going where they need to go, the end result is feeling good.
Mm-hmm. So the body feeling good, is that how does it take sometimes, like someone who's been in pain for a number of maybe that's where they feel that's their baseline or their reality, and building back trust within their own mental self, right, where they trust that if they start feeling good, that this is something that is sustainable rather than it like sliding back. What's your experience in that with people, like helping them to keep building that trust within themselves?
So my experience with that is, and I'm glad you brought it out. That's a very key point: building trust within themselves, trusting that this is not a temporary thing. And so I get a lot of people come in, and one of the things that I notice is that there's a combination. There's that fear of, I don't want to hurt any more further or any worse, and the fear of letting go. So when we are in pain, a lot of times we brace, we hold on. I remember going to the dentist, and when the dentist was getting ready to stick that needle into my gum, I could feel myself
tensing up.
and then they have the nerve to ask you, relax. You relax. You got this big long needle, you stick it into my gum, and you want me to relax? Yeah, let me put it in your gum and see you relax. So anyway, but it's just that bracing of pain. It's like, get ready. And so I have a lot of clients that come to me, and they come in that state. And so I'll tell them, just relax, relax, deep breathe, calm the brain down. They're in a beta state because it's like this. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? I need to control. Take a deep breath. Breathe deeply, easily. Let everything go. And just simply, before we do anything else, let everything go. And I've had people to have breakthroughs because they saw they could not let everything go. Nothing was happening. I was just holding their legs, or the legs were resting on a bench. But the thought of letting go, letting my guard down, because it was scary to them, because all their lives, they've been taught, you got to keep your guard up. You got to watch out for everything. It's a dog-eat-dog world. People are out to get you. And all those things you start taking inside of yourself and guarding yourself. You see it. You tell them, relax, stretch, and I may be stretching someone's leg, and their arms come up to here, and they have their fists balled. They're bracing, they're guarding, they're ready. Let it go, relax. And so with that being said, they're holding on to pain. Then it's the other side of it. I don't want to think, once they start feeling good, letting go, having release. I've had people cry because they were able to finally let go of everything they're holding on to. And it was all residing here. and the stories that we tell ourselves and the things that we've been taught throughout our lives. And finally, I got one moment, 1 hour that I can be free and let go and not worry about something happening to me. Very, very powerful. So once they see that, now I feel good, but like you were saying, I don't want to be a temporary thing, and I get my hopes up only to be let down. And so what then now is trust. Okay, if it happened once, do you think it could happen again? Yeah, it's possible. What if it could happen 2 days in a row? What if it can become a habit? Something that's repeated daily, till it felt natural to you. Would you be willing to take that step? It's on your own terms, as slow as you want to take it. And if they can take that one step, that one day, the second day, and then monitor what they're thinking, are fear thoughts coming up, or depressed thoughts coming up, or, am I going to the bathroom and I have my shoulders here because I'm always on guard subconsciously. Sometimes it went beyond the conscious mind, it's in the subconscious. Now it's just, and then you start training yourself to take those deep breaths, let those shoulders go. I can relax going to the bathroom. I've had that happen. I'm going to the bathroom here because I'm thinking about all this stuff going on. Kevin, it's okay. You're just using the bathroom. Relax. And then relax. And tell yourself that over and over, but get yourself in the habit, almost a ritual of taking those deep breaths and observing. We have that capacity to observe our own thoughts. So getting that habit, and then it is a process, but once you're able to do that, and you can monitor what's happening and know, hey, I don't have to be, I'm okay. I don't have to be anxious. Breathe, relax. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. So yes, so that's what we experience.
I believe it. I'm sitting here and I'm going, I'm relaxed now. It worked. Thank you, Kevin. It's like a lot of what you speak of. It sounds like, part of the healing state, or being in a healthy state is building awareness, is expanding your consciousness to where you are able to just kind of step outside of your fear, where you're able to just kind of like step outside of yourself, maybe the mechanical you, and just look to monitor it and not like just jump to these negative conclusions. It's like, I'm slipping back, or I'm gonna fall down, but to keep building so that you're able to kind of keep in a peaceful place. And breathing, the deep breathing, or that meditative where you just slow things down, right? That is like a key factor in that. Are there, just as a side to that, are there people who maybe they need to accelerate themselves as opposed to relax? Maybe they're too relaxed. Maybe they're too like. Have you come across that?
Oh wow.
Or just people just stressed out.
Most of the people I get are more, are more high. Well, they're more cerebral, so they're always thinking about something and getting ready to do the next thing. Some of them are type A's, ready to go. But some of them, not even so much of type A, but maybe they're always in their head, and then they're always hoping or looking for the bad, or what, hopefully nothing bad happens, proceeding throughout the day. I hope, everything goes well today. Hope it's not a bad day, or it start off bad. Those kind of things. So they may not be the ones that are going here, but here is still doing it. And it's one of those things where I'm got this going on, so I'm afraid to break out of my mode, so to speak. And the same thing, if you can get them to settle down those thoughts. And then once, and I guess to answer your question, getting them in motion, getting that energy to be released and get into motion. Once those thoughts calm down, you'll be able to release energy from you, because those thoughts, again, they're blocking everything up, those negative thoughts, and to be able to get those positive thoughts going, that energy going, then getting them to move. So breathing, but even getting that heart rate up. So maybe not to a point of where they're just flying, but just getting up enough to where, they are about 60%, 55, 60% of their target heart rate, and they're just going enough to where they can breathe deeply, got the heart rate going, getting the circulation going. Once they stop, their brain is able to settle down. And, when you do cardiovascular activities, especially at that pace, you're able to make more brain synapses. It's something called brain-derived neurotrophic factors. So it makes more synapses are connecting in the brain, which means it enables more learning, more creative thought, and things of that nature just from doing cardiovascular activity. So that will, at least when that happens, they have an opportunity to start learning something different, or to start thinking different, a different train of thought, a more expansive thought than the shell that they may have been in.
Well, you touched upon something really interesting, and it's something that I come across too, is where people have a storyline,
Yes.
like as if they're a character in a book, and they look for experiences that they will go through to have a conclusion that bolsters, or it comes to like where, oh, okay, well that's what I expected to happen, because I how I perceive the world is that I am of this certain where this is my story, like if there's a place of lack in someone's life, or if they think, oh, it's just I have bad luck, and so that's why this happens, or keeps happening, is because I have bad luck. And to be able to get in and help create a shift within someone where again they're not like just stuck in a certain mindset. As far as like the wellness aspects of that, what's your experience with that?
So a lot of times you get people, when, like you said, they have their stories. So they're coming with some stories of, in particular, I'm thinking of a young lady who would tell me that she's always been overweight. Maybe she was meant to be this way. And that's within itself, all these stories are powerful in overcoming, because of the fact that, especially if it's gotten into their belief system, is sat down in there and they believe this. So that's something we have to overcome. First and foremost, let's talk about that. Let's look at that. So have you ever known anyone your size that's lost weight? Yes. Did they have family members? Did you know any of their family members? Yes. Were they the same weight or overweight or whatever the case would be? Yes. And she was able to do it, right? Yes. Has she been able to keep it off? Yes. So it can be done, correct? I mean, something as simple as asking those questions to go beyond you and to see that. And if you've seen it in anybody else, then the possibility is there just because you're able to see that. So now you're able to at least have that bit of light. And so, sometimes that's all you need is a little bit of light, a little bit of hope, a little bit of something to hold on to pull you through those times when your mind tries to tell you you can't do it. Oh, that's not true. But she had money, or she had plastic surgery. All those things that your mind tries to tell you to keep you, protect you, or whatever it's doing, but to keep you where you are comfortable. When you try to step out of that comfort zone. So when you're able to break out, if you hold on to it long enough and believing, yes, I can do it. If one person do it, so can I. We're all, put on our pants the same weight. we're all humans, and if we don't have one human have this special thing they can do, the others have this special thing that comes from within them that makes it difficult for me. I don't have that. No, I have that will as well, so I can press through. If I hold on long enough and I'm consistent with it, I'll eventually reach my goal. So and that's why I like to tell people, if you keep walking west, eventually, if I kept going west, got in the car, kept going driving west, eventually I will get out to Los Angeles, California, and I'm on the East Coast. If I keep going that way, if I don't stop, no matter how slow I go, no matter how long it takes me, if I keep going, I will eventually get there. And the same thing with conquering yourself, whether it be weight loss, change your mindset, whatever the case may be. If you can keep going and don't give up, cave in quick, don't turn back, don't retreat. You may fall, you may stumble, you may have to dust yourself off, you may have to take 5 deep breaths, you may have to hang out here for a minute, but keep moving forward, and eventually you'll reach that goal.
So being able to like have that seed or that light that just like shines, just it can be small, right? But it's there. Being able to highlight that for someone, again, like so that they have awareness of it, right? So that they can do the work of planting that seed within themselves, and to let it grow. You mentioned plastic surgery, right? Because the aspects of instant gratification, right? Instead of doing the work to, lose, excess pounds or whatever. It's like, you know what? I'll just shave them off. I'll just cut them off.
Yeah.
I mean, what are your feelings about that? As like the implications of that, and because when you look at health as an integrative aspect, where there's the body, mind, spirit, emotional part of well-being, right? It's like, do you see the benefits in the person who does they may be in it for the longer haul. They are willing to do the work to take all of these parts of oneself and just really build a much stronger version of themselves, a better version, rather than taking. Do you see it as a shortcut?
Yes, I do. Unless now, sometimes you have situations where people are just doing something with the excess skin, but they've done the work and they just got excess skin that they're doing something with. But as far as, and only you know, I know me, I know how I am, I know my thoughts, I know when I'm giving you my all, I know when I'm not, I know when I'm doing the best I can, I know when I'm not. So I say that to say with each individual, when you get to a point where you say, well, I'm just going to take this easy route and just go ahead and have it shaved off. And then what I've heard is that then I'm going to continue to eat healthy so that I can keep it off.
Yeah.
So my thing is, the things that got you to that point, you have to continue to do in order to stay there. So whatever you were doing to get to that point of whether if you were, exercising and keeping your mental stress levels down and you were eating healthy and doing all the things you need to do, and you saw the weight come off and you came off and you lost 30 pounds. One of the things I used to do in my life is I could run it off, so to speak. So I would go run, lose 20 pounds. But then over the weekend, I would go and gain 5 or 6 or 7 more pounds back, because I would go back to eating the way I ate before.
You'd celebrate all of the hard work, right?
So so you do that roller coaster, up, down, back, forth. And soon I was like, well, I'm getting tired of this, because now, I can't outrun unhealthy eating habits. I can't outrun them. I can't do anything unless I get control of my behaviors and my habits and my actions, and do this day after day after day. Now, once I did that and broke away from unhealthy eating and the things I had an unhealthy relationship with, I had an unhealthy relationship with Doritos, with potato chips, with French fries, and all the kind of salty stuff you eat. I used to eat that and would eat a bag of Doritos, just find a good movie, and I can knock it out in one sitting, and then look for my wife's bag. Hey, she's playing around with this stuff. She still got Doritos. She don't really want them. If she did, she would eat them like me. So she must not want them. So eat her bag. I'll replace it later. You know, I would do that until I got to the point of, okay, Kevin, this is silly.
This is just a good husbandly duty, though, is to, it's like you don't waste food, right? Exactly. It's like, hey, if you're not going to eat that, I can eat that.
Right. And if you really wanted it, you would have eaten it already by this point anyway. So
it's not Brussels sprouts. It's Doritos. Come on.
Exactly. But I tell you, I had to stop doing the temporary and then go ahead and commit to this process. So I had an unhealthy relationship with it. So I had to stop eating that, period. Not on cheat days, not on every now and then. I had to stop, period, because I could not just have one. So once I removed that from my life, and that's just how I am, I was able to focus on eating healthy and continuously. This is the way I eat. This is how I eat. I eat healthy. This is the way I eat. It's okay to have this every now and then, but this is the way I eat day in, day out, and made a true lifestyle change. Then the weight dropped off, and not only did it drop off, it stayed off. And so that's the difference. So, but I could not go back to eating how I did before I lost maybe 70 pounds, because I would start the habit of gaining weight. Because now I'm eating how I ate when I was 70 pounds heavier. And the reason why I was 70 pounds heavier is because I ate that way. I lived that way. Those habits supported that result. So now, these new habits, eating healthy, exercising, keeping my stress levels at a minimum, practicing peace in my life, created a guy that was 70 pounds lighter. So I need to choose the habits of what I desire. So again, so whatever you did to get there, either way, if you want that result, you have to continue to do that in order to stay there. So your habits, very important.
And it's like with your own personal experience, and that is usually, like kind of a great barometer just within any practitioner, any coach, is to know that they experienced it themselves, right? It's like when you made that shift of saying, you know what, this no longer works for me. Mm-hmm. This is no longer a sustainable situation. And so you're ready to make that shift. Do the people who come to you, Kevin, do they are they there? They're at that place of wanting to make that shift, or are they needing like a little bit more convincing?
They're at different stages. So sometimes they need a little bit more convincing, but the majority of them are at that stage, because by the time they get to me, they're broken and they want something different in their life. Okay. They're tired of the same old. They're tired of the life as usual. I need to change, and here's why I'm coming to you. Do whatever we need to do, but I'm ready. Now, and within the process, there's some convincing here, but for the most part, they're ready to make a difference. The majority of my clients are also are older adults, so they are at the age where health is very, very important. I want to look good now, don't get me wrong, but my health is paramount and very, very important, because I want to increase the longevity of my life, especially after we've seen, this age group have seen their parents go downhill quickly, nursing homes, not being able to take care of themselves, not living independently. And they're taking mental note of this, saying, she just didn't know, but I know, and I want to do it differently.
So because people are older and all, it's like you have to have like a knowledge of physiology there, so that you're not pushing, people into like places. You're not like, having the 70-year-olds get down and do 50 push-ups, and say, come on, Let's do it. You're going to do it. Work it off.
Right.
As far as like the pacing someone so that they're making progress, but they're also not just like burning themselves out. Do you find that that people who they know that they need to change, that they can put a lot of effort towards like something like weight loss, like they can really, I'm going to do this and go for it, and then they burn themselves out, and why might that be, and how can you keep them on the track?
Okay, so yes, and to answer your question, so a lot of times, they'll go full steam ahead because, like anything else that you're excited about or that you decide you're going to go into, you go in wholeheartedly and you want to go and get there as fast as possible because you feel like the faster you go, the faster you'll reach your goal, the faster you lose the weight, the faster you get in shape. And I'm just going to go all at it with what knowledge I have. So my job and what I do is to help people to pace themselves and to set their goals at a doable pace, to let them know that this is a journey. This is a marathon. This is something you can set individual goals and short-term goals, but this is something that you plan on doing for the rest of your life. So you don't have to be in a great hurry. Don't give yourself grace. Love on yourself. Don't beat yourself up, because you're going to have times after the honeymoon stage is over with where you're not going to feel like doing it. You just got married. The ceremony was wonderful and great. Y'all had a great honeymoon and all that stuff, wedding, all that, pictures, cake, boom. And now, you're 3, 4, 5 months in, and you wake up and the same person's there. They didn't put the toothpaste back. They didn't let the toilet seat down. They talk too much. They talk to you, but I'm not a morning person. Why are you talking to me in the morning? Let me get my coffee. And you ask me a whole bunch of questions. Why you ask me all these questions? Why don't you pick up your shoes and socks off the floor? What's wrong with you? Oh, gosh. Now it's time to work this marriage.
Have you been like tuning into my marriage? Is there like a cam, some kind of webcam, or?
I'm married, so I know the deal. Absolutely. 20 years in, I know what the deal is. Absolutely. But yeah, so you start working the marriage, and just like with whether your weight loss program or your health, whatever the program is, strength gaining program, you start working it like everything else. You're going to have some days where you don't feel like doing it, but you got to do it. You got to have some days where you don't want to get out of bed, but you got to get out of bed and keep moving forward. The habit, because you want to establish the habit. You want this thing to be so natural to you that it's just like brushing your teeth. And if you didn't brush your teeth and you left the house, something's wrong. Can they smell my breath? Making sure you turn away. You're not. Why you keep turning, Kevin? Oh, well, I'm just saying.
Hey, this is why we wear masks. This is why we wear masks now. It's just it's
you smell through the breath, mask as well. But those things, and so you want that to become so natural to you and become a habit on the inside of you that you don't even think about it. What are I'm doing in the morning? I'm working out. What are you doing on vacation? I'm working out. What am I doing on Saturday? I'm working out. What am I doing on Sunday? I'm working out. That's what I do. It became a part of you. It becomes a part of you. And so now the struggle is not even as difficult as it once was. So the same way, give yourself grace, take your time, and keep plugging away at it. Keep plugging away, and soon you'll reach a point where you'll desire to do it.
I still have a lot of questions for you, but I want you to be able to, tell people where they can reach you at this point. And I have like an Instagram address for you at Kevin Bailey 9402.
Yes.
Right. So and Kevin KEVIN Bailey BAILEY.
Yes.
9402. Do you have a website? Is there other places, or is that the best place?
Facebook. I'm on Facebook, just Kevin Bailey. And if you remember what I look like, you'll see me pop up there. Mm-hmm. And yes, you can go there. I'll post some things, and yeah.
Part of staying motivated and allowing for that seed of change, to keep growing within oneself. Meditation is a big part of it. And I find that not everyone is wired to be able to just sit calmly. And they can be like a little bit have that monkey mind, or the where their brain is always like going, and so there are different types of meditations, whether they're pre-recorded ones that they will take you on a journey, or they might be just ones of affirmations. I like to see people who, take that basic concept and maybe instead of just sitting, they might have an active meditation where it might be taking a walk, or just, sitting on an exercise bike or something, where they're doing a repetitive motion. They're keeping, in motion, but they can, do something. Maybe they're sitting there knitting or crocheting or working a puzzle or something, where they're able to just kind of like calm themselves, or get into a space where they can focus their mind. What are your thoughts on that, Kevin?
Well, yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think while you're doing something that you enjoy, knitting, riding a bike, I've done that on an elliptical. And what I did was I would close my eyes as I was on the elliptical. I don't have to worry about falling off or anything like that. And just become one in myself. And so kind of retreat back into my own mind and my thoughts, and visualize certain things, certain events, seeing myself accomplish certain things, or being in certain aspects, things that I want, whether it be speaking on a stage, or writing a book, or how, what would things be like if I was, this $1 million author, or something along those lines, things that I can just go into myself and forget about the outside world while I'm moving. Was phenomenal, because once I came out of it, I felt refreshed, but also notice, the hour is almost up. I only got like 3 more minutes to go or something if I'm doing an hour on it. But I feel invigorated, refreshed, and I feel like I've actually experienced the things that I was meditating on. So yeah, very, very powerful, very, very powerful. If you can do that and lose yourself in that and go within, I mean, just your brain waves slows down. You become more, open-minded, more restored. It's very, very. There's a healing power in that as well.
Yeah, and you actually brought in that point about being a million seller author, and you have books. You are an author. What are your books?
Well, I'm working on a book right now called The Feel Good Habit. And so it's the habit of feeling good, like we talked about earlier today in the show. And so it's based on 4 different tenets that I have: mindset, meals, movement, and meditation as well. So if you can get those and become a habit of, exercising, moving, keeping things going. If you get in the habit of, eating healthy, putting proper fuel in your body. If you get in the habit of meditating, like we just talked about, whether it be praying, whether it be being quiet with oneself and observing your thoughts and being silent. And also, whether it be your mindset, just being able to feed your mind with healthy thoughts and positive thoughts and things that will empower you to be the best that you can possibly be. If you get in a habit of those 4 things, they will help you to feel good. And if you can do them on a habitual basis, you can turn feeling good into a habit, just like you'd have other habits of eating, habits of drinking, feeling good being a habit.
Mm-hmm. When is this book going to be done, Kevin?
I'm shooting for the end of the year, absolutely, end of the year. So we should be ready to rock and roll at that point.
Awesome. And the beauty of information, is that, there's a lot of avenues for it, whether it's a printed book where you actually have it in your hands, or it's a digital book on the internet, or brought through Kindle, or one of the electronic mediums. But that information and how it is that you deliver it, because you're also a motivational speaker, and are there places like on YouTube, or like that you have like talks that are your plan, or your the things that you're speaking of, that they're very concise for people?
Yeah, I got a few on YouTube. Feel Good Habit TV. Feel Good Habit TV.
That's the channel name?
Yes.
Feel Good Habit TV.
Feel Good Habit TV. Absolutely.
That's so awesome. Yeah, mindset, movements, meals, meditation. The 4 M's.
4 M's. There you go.
All right.
Absolutely.
And as far as food, right? As far as you were talking earlier about how the foods of like chips, the salty, the snacks, right? It's like Americans have an issue of snacking out. I mean, that's the other epidemic that we go through is snacking out. I did notice, though, like when the pandemic started, that that there was a lot of cookies on the shelves, whereas like just the basic things like flour and rice and milk, and of course toilet paper and all that, those were like gone. And that seemed kind of a weird, like hopeful thing, that I was seeing, that people weren't just like, oh, okay, let's just go for the Oreos and the Granny Goose there. What is that a one size fits all with the types of foods that are beneficial to weight loss, or is that individual basis as well?
I think some things are I think it can be individualized, but basically, again, you need to reduce the amount of carbohydrates that you're consuming. You need protein, and you need to consume fat in order to healthy fats, monosaturated fats that are good for you, like almonds and cashews, macadamia nuts, things of that nature that have healthy qualities that help also to help you to feel satiated or fuller for a long period of time. So those, yes.
Now, I mean, with like, almonds and stuff like that, as far as one can go for like just kind of the more raw almonds, or the ones that aren't processed like a lot, or they can go, oh, well, I'm eating the chocolate covered almonds, I'm balancing that out, with other cravings. Right. I mean, that aspect of cheating is that like, it's something that people have to get over in their heads. Like, it's like, if you're going to be serious about this, you can't cheat.
Yes. I mean, you do. Yeah. And you have to be honest with you. And so, in that, if this is something that you really want to do, and you keep finding yourself trying to find a way around what you actually need to do. So just like you said, I'll just get chocolate covered almonds, and that may help for a while, and you may lose for a while, but at some point you're going to have to make another decision, because I want to lose more weight, or I want to, lose more body fat, but I keep getting this chocolate in my system, milk chocolate, which is sending up, which has a lot more calories in it, a lot more carbohydrates in it, and it's causing me to store more fat. So now I'm at a standstill, or I'm at a stoppage point, or I'm stalled in my weight loss plan. I have to make a decision. If I want to go further down, now I need to get the sliced almonds, plain Jane one instead of the chocolate covered or instead of the salty ones or whatever the case may be. So you have to make up in your mind, and it's not even so much cheating, it's just where do I want to go with this and how committed am I?
Yeah.
And how bad or how much do I really want to reach that goal?
Any advice for the holidays that are, fast coming upon us?
I would say to know thyself, to have a plan when you go in. So let me back up. To know thyself is know you. Know what you can have a little bit of and know what you need to, that you have a little bit more of, and if you put that in perspective. So for instance, I know that I like dressing a lot. So I don't need to, put 2, 3, 4, 5 squares on my plate because that will end up being 3, 4, 5 more squares. I can easily overeat on that. So maybe I just eat one.
Right.
And then just eat, or have a plan. Here's a plan. Have one plate. Once I fill the plate up, I'm done. I'm not going back. This is it. This is the plate. This is all I'm eating. I know this before I go in.
Discipline, damn it. Right?
Yeah. Or you can, or another little thing you can do is I told you, like, I'll eat some almonds and before I go, and maybe a protein bar, something along those lines before I go, so that I'm already satiated. So now I don't have this strong desire to go and do it.
Great advice. So Dennis, Kevin, sorry, Kevin, we are wrapping up. And again, Kevin Bailey, 9402 at Instagram, and then on Facebook, Kevin Bailey. This has been wonderful to be able to speak with you today on transformations with Tara Sutphen.
It's been wonderful to speak with you as well. Thank you for having me. It's been a blast.
Absolutely. I'm going to friend you on Facebook. So look for me. I look like I am on my profile. Okay. So blessings to you, and thank you everyone for listening, and have a beautiful Friday. And as we go into the holidays, have a wonderful time.
Thank you for listening to Transformations with Tara. Tara hopes this program brings guidance and insight towards a better tomorrow. If you have any questions or inquiries, or would just like to know more about Tara Sutphen's workshops and seminars or private sessions, please visit her website now at tarainsight.com. Until next time, many blessings.